Welcome in, everybody. This is Too Much Movie Night. Follow along while we go back in time through our favorite movie night movies and see how well they hold up. I'm one of your three co-hosts, Brian. Beside me, I've got JJ.
You scared, motherfucker?
And Steve.
He's one gigantic motherfucker.
Together each week we'll spin our wheel to see which movie we'll be viewing. At the end of the pod, we'll rate our movie on our Too Much meter. We'll keep track of which movies hold up to be the best movie night movies. Thanks for listening in, and give us a follow to keep up with our weekly episodes. Well, welcome in, folks. You are back for another episode. We've got Commando in store, loaded up in the... I was going to say VHS player, but we don't do that anymore.
Close.
For this movie, it probably would have been. But, yeah, guys, action-adventure week. Whoop, whoop.
Definitely.
Was Betamax a thing whenever this came out? Steve, this would be a you question, because we didn't even use Betamax whenever I was a kid. So.
I'm trying. It may have, yes. I'm going to say yes. Betamax was probably, what is this, 85? 84,
Yeah.
85? Yeah. I guess Betamax was still a thing.
Well, guys, we've got a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. He's not a barbarian, he's not a robot, but God, he's close enough, isn't he? Shit, this was action-packed. What was it, 90-minute runtime? This was a thrill ride, that's for sure.
Man, they did not waste any time getting to it. Did not waste any time, which I appreciated that.
Yeah,
it was it grasped you for sure.
Yeah, just right out of the bat, it's like boom, here we are, dead person.
Killing people in the cul-de-sac. But yes, Steve, as you brought up, it's a 85 classic. We'll call it a. This is one of the great R movies. I feel like that came out of this 80s era. This was a testosterone-filled decade that just came out with superheroes, if you will. Like real-life superheroes is what these guys did. Between him and Stallone, these were some action-packed movies, and this was my first viewing of it. Steve, this being a young man in the 80s, how was this interaction for you? Did you go to theaters for this?
No, definitely didn't go to the theater for this one either. 85, I must have been 13 years old. So, the height of starting to become testosterone filled, I guess. But no, did not go to the movies to see this, but did see this on VHS. This was, my dad was huge into renting tapes, and so this one was definitely on the on like with the first, whenever the tape came out, he was probably the first one in the store to get this. He was just he liked that kind of action type stuff too. So.
Mm-hmm. So being blown away, I'm sure, by all this action, was this like a high rewatch movie for you? Or is this one came to the house a couple times and...
Oh, no, this has been, I would say for me, this has been a continual kind of rewatch, initially, and then just sort of throughout the years, it pops up every now and then, and it's like, all right, I'm going to watch Commando again.
Right. Well, JJ, you said you watched this quite a bit growing up. Talk about your introduction to this for us.
Yeah, this was, it wasn't one of Dad's, go-to movies. He did watch it frequently, but it was just kind of hey, there's nothing else on. This is, I think, if I remember correctly, we had just gotten satellite. Had kind of the bigger satellite in the backyard. And we had just gotten that, so Dad would always scroll through the channels, and if he preferred Rambo over Commando.
Oh,
but,
Stallone man, huh?
Okay. If there were if Terminator, Rambo, Predator, if those weren't on, or what's the Harrison Ford movie?
Indiana Jones.
No, not Indiana Jones. Double Jeopardy, is that the Harrison Ford one?
There is a Double Jeopardy. God dang it, something like that.
Something like that, and then the Convict, he would watch those over Commando, but if Commando was on, we would watch it. And
interesting.
But I got to view the TV versions of this movie, not necessarily the full blown action pack, or that or I don't remember it. So,
that's what I heard quite a bit of that. I pulled kind of the audience a little bit and asking people that had seen this, in earlier days, that I came across a handful of people that never saw some of the intense scenes because they always saw this on TV. They're like, yeah, I saw it on TV as a kid. I grew up seeing it there. So when I finally saw it on like an HBO or something like that, the machete arm cutting scene and a handful of those were like, oh my God, I had no idea this was a part of it.
Yeah.
But for me, this was my...
Well, I was gonna say I hadn't seen the guy getting pegged in the hotel room.
Right? Yeah.
That was a shock to me. But
No kidding.
Yes, that was awesome.
But yeah, like I said, I didn't. This is my first viewing of it. I remember, young age going through an Arnold phase. Making sure we watched all the Arnold movies, and Conan the Barbarian. I remember seeing that. I've seen Terminator 1, 2, and somewhere in there, I skipped over this and made it to Twins and was it Deck the Halls, his Christmas movie,
and Mr. Mom. No, not Mr. Mom.
Kindergarten
What
Cop.
was the other one? Kindergarten Cop. Yeah.
Kindergarten. So
That's
I
the one
missed
I was
Commando and slid into more of his comedic roles, and that was enough Arnold for me. Lovely guy, charming guy, charismatic as you can with all those muscles, but that's kind of where I left Arnold Schwarzenegger. But this was a surprise. I was thrilled at how action-packed this was. Being an 80s movie, I was expecting some longer speaking montages. No. Not until the final fight scene did Arnold say more than 2 lines back to back. I watched it twice. Actually, 2.5 times. I fell asleep once. But he does not say back to back lines in this movie the entire movie until his fight scene when he's like, "Fight me 101." I can't do the Austrian accent, but we'll try that throughout the show here.
I read that like the directors, like there was originally that they didn't want him to speak at all throughout this movie, but then but they came back and said, no, we can't do that. Which obviously I'm glad they did, because all of his little silly little one-liners that brought some of the comedy to this movie, it wouldn't have quite had that if we didn't have him talking.
The amount of times that we got the bicep porn, the sweating, dripping something.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. Peak Arnold, that was a sight to see, that's for sure.
Peak, truly. You watch some movies, and some of the characters are just they just blend in. You can't really pick them out later on. You're like, wait, who was that or something? This movie was not like that at all, right? All these dudes, all these characters, Bennett, they were just so distinct, I guess, to put it like that.
You mean Sir Bennett?
Sir Bennett.
He was a knight. He wore chainmail. He was clearly a knight. Fucking wore chainmail. Like, what was this? It was his grandmother's sewn chainmail for LARPing that he had, or something.
I didn't know that the Village people had like a backstory.
fucking fat Freddie Mercury on steroids.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to wear my leather pants and chainmail today. Let's go.
But it was quilted chainmail. It wasn't even chain, because me and Lisa were watching it together, and it was like, is that chainmail? She's like, no, it's like fucking crocheted.
Yeah. And it was so much that I'm like, there's no way they were trying to get away calling that chainmail. I think it was just the outfit. I read he was recast too, so the outfit was actually made for the guy previously. By the time he got to wear it, they were like, fuck it, you're a little too big. You look like you shrank grandma's sweater there, buddy.
They were like, you know what? We're not going to invest any more money into this guy, because he's already fucking dog shit, so let's just go with what we got.
You ready to keep this trailer going?
Yes, let's do it.
They hunted him down.
Colonel, we went to a lot of trouble to find you.
They murdered his friends. And they took the only thing he would kill for.
If you want your kid back, then you gotta cooperate. Right? Wrong.
Now, somewhere, somehow, someone's gonna pay.
Do you think that he is going to give us any problems?
You'll do exactly as he's told.
Hasta luego, fellas.
You're a funny guy, Sully. That's why I'm going to kill you last.
Are you gonna tell me what's going on or what?
No. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired. What are you doing?
Helping you get her back.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's right, Major. You did.
I lied.
If it's a mission no man can survive, he's the man for the job. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando.
Let's party.
In 1985's explosive movie Commando, Colonel John Matrix is an ex-military squad leader who's made enemies all over the world. The movie starts with a series of murders: machine guns in a quiet neighborhood, driving a new car through the dealership window, and blowing up a fishing boat in the harbor. Flash forward to a middle-of-nowhere mountain range where Matrix raises his daughter Jenny. Suddenly, during a quiet and peaceful lunch, a helicopter shows up carrying General Franklin Kirby. Kirby tells Matrix of the murders and that they will be coming for him next. Matrix tells him that he's out of the biz and just trying to build a normal life here in the remote jungle with his daughter. And no wife, and we can't forget, his big, long log. Following Kirby's exit, bad guys gun down the 2 nose-blind soldiers left behind, and Matrix tells Jenny to go to her room while he runs to his munitions shed. Matrix finds the goons have captured Jenny and are hightailing it out of there. He pushes a Bronco over the side of a hill and begins to go after them, but is eventually captured after wrecking the vehicle and told he's going to Valverde to kill the president.
So I had a blast writing this, and she definitely took it and ran with it in locations. She was like, wait, what's up with the log? I was like, you wouldn't quite get it, just leave it in there. And I think she meant a different log.
And his log.
She saw the Speedo scene, that's for sure.
Man.
So we just covered half the movie. No, we covered 15 minutes. I actually timestamped it to make sure I wasn't going too far in that first section. 15 minutes, folks. We've got 3 back-to-back murders going on here, which I was all down for. Get me hooked. I was like still preparing, getting my notes, getting all my snacks ready. And no, I'm like locked in right there with that. Fun way to start the movie, though.
You know, so interesting. Like you talk about the fun way. So the opening scene, those dudes in the truck. Well, so the guy like his wife waking up, you know, because the trashmen are a day early, you know.
Hoping Jeff and Nancy next door don't come down first.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, hold on. That was their whole fucking strategy right there. And
Oh, God, it was bad.
And he picks up the cat litter box and just dumps it right in there. He's like, yeah, throw that on top of there if I could go. But
Well, and then the third kill, we find out it's not even a real kill. Anyway,
not even a
like,
kill.
I feel like we could have had an extra guy in the platoon. He blew up in the boat, and then Bennett was just the jackass that was still there. Like, why did it have to, a little extra stuff?
yeah.
But guys, can we talk about this 80s sitcom montage that we finally learn that it's his daughter at the end? We think, it's a young girl, it's probably his daughter, but look, we didn't fear intimacy in my household growing up as a kid, but my parents, who I appreciate, didn't kiss me on the mouth ever.
Yes,
especially over the age of 10. Now, do I see anything that's actually wrong with that? No. If you have that comfortability with your family, go for it. But I don't think majority of I don't know. Where are you guys out on the put down family?
So here's the deal. Like I don't know how old she actually was in the film, but
they make a comment that she's 12, I think.
Yeah, she's looking like she's getting ready to go into junior high. Okay, and the little heart on the fridge that looks like it was made by a 4-year-old. What the fuck is up with that?
It's because she hasn't done anything cool since like 4 years old, so he's had to keep it up there all this time.
But no, he like opens the fridge and like gets something out, shuts it, and is surprised like, "Oh, I love you." And then it's like I was expecting the Full House theme song to just hop on, everywhere you look.
Uncle Jesse comes sliding down the banister.
And then the awkward fucking like kiss on the mouth, I was like, is she dying? Are you trying to give her CPR while she's sitting up? Like, I'm trying to think of any explanation other than, like, why are you kissing your daughter on the mouth? But, well, whatever.
It's our generation, JJ.
Very
Dad.
fucking
Or Steve, tell us how you kissed your dad on the mouth. Come on.
Yeah, no, that definitely didn't happen. And yeah, I don't know about the whole generational thing either, because seeing that still was just like, God, that was just so awkward.
I don't know. I'm in the same boat as you are, Brian. I was very vocal during this part. I pulled out the Dr. Evil line of, how about no, you crazy Dutch bastard? Like, was not about it.
But yeah, I died laughing at the log carrying scene. Like, I get it, we're showing off his strength, but we definitely doubled, tripled how long that little walking montage could have been.
Oh yeah.
Feeding the deer, like, is he Snow White? Like, what the hell are we doing here?
And I'm sure I know Arnold Schwarzenegger is a big strong fucker, but that log would weigh hundreds of pounds.
I'm actually believing that he could do it. I'm gonna fall under the reality that he could.
So.
No. But yeah, that bitch weighs as much as my car, I'm sure.
Yeah, that is a fucking big, heavy ass log. There's no way.
That thing down there is plastic.
It's they said it was balsa wood.
Yeah,
balsa
really,
wood.
Oh,
Yeah.
This
okay.
movie was balsa. Oh man. So we got Kirby rolling in, right? With these two guys who don't even. Kirby gets disarmed, and these guys have no fucking clue. Why,
Yeah,
why,
go clear
why
the
would
perimeter.
Matrix care if they're there to help? Like, all they're gonna do is get blood all over the driveway. He knows it.
Well, he's just that good that nobody fucking sees him. He is that good.
I could smell them coming. Yeah, like what was that? He's got super hearing later on in the movie when he hears his daughter's voice screaming from across the compound.
Yeah.
He's got super smell. So like, what is this? The 8th sense here? Like,
See, that's what I was saying. Is like, you know what? You can't train somebody to smell better, right? You can't. I mean, that doesn't come with training. I just can't imagine that. Oh, they're downwind. Steve was like, what? He's like, yeah.
But then again, Steve, you also didn't join the military till the 90s. This might have been an 80s thing.
That's a good point.
That might have been. I heard of the huge nose debacle of '93. Clinton had to be brought into the whole thing, so maybe that's where it all stemmed from. You know?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like, well, but obviously they didn't train those other two chuckleheads. Kirby did a bad job of training them not to fucking smell people.
Where are they getting these people from?
Are they any good? Oh, they're some of the best. Dead.
Can't smell worse shit, but you know.
Those dudes were fucking pathetic. That's what I was like. They were just losers.
They don't see old boys in the suits hiding in the bushes over there, but that's fine. Go check the perimeter, fellas.
And I think one of my favorite scenes. Can we go to the Broncos scene?
Yes.
Oh, I think this was probably my favorite. Like, this is what locked me into the movie because I think at this point I was very skeptical of the movie and ready to shit all over it. Like I like to do on most of our movies, but this point in the movie made me realize, okay, I think this might be closer to a spoof of a movie than an actual take me serious. This is our excuse, like I said, to get Arnold wet and wild, show off some biceps, and blow some shit up. But the fact that he couldn't get this Bronco running just because they threw jumper cables on the engine, pull the jumper cables off and start it up, man. Like, what the fuck? How does that stop him? And why did they not shoot the tires?
Jumper
Guys, give me
cables.
something here. I don't know what happened.
It wasn't jumper cables. It was that was the distributor cap of the Bronco.
Yeah.
So they don't have those. They don't have those in the Hondas anymore. But they pulled the distributor caps.
It looked like Grandma's yarn collection is what they threw on top of there. Like the dumbest shit.
They pulled all the wires out of the distributor cap, so it's just like it disconnected that, so it was totally shot. Nothing. But that was a good thing. You're right. That was a good thing. So now we got to get Arnold pumped up, pushing this Bronco, and then you think he's gonna fucking slam in, which I was like worried that he's gonna slam into a car, not knowing which one his daughter was in.
Wait, which time? Because he passed him 3 times. Did y'all notice too in the cutscenes there were points where the vehicle was like 3/4 flipped? They had to have gone through a dozen Broncos on showing this because you know it flipped every bump.
Man.
Well, and he makes the comment. He's like, "Oh, he's coming down the hill with no brakes." So did they?
Right.
They cut the brakes. Is what I'm thinking.
That's what the jumper cords do.
He's just barreling down this fucking mountain. why didn't they just stop? And just be like,
Wave by as he
watch him go all the way down, and they're like, all right, cool. Now we can go safely. We don't have to worry about him hitting us at all.
Like, he also gets in the Bronco without any guns. He goes to this awesome gun safe that requires 2 numbers to open it.
And why is it outside, way away from the house?
Because we had gun safety in the 80s. We kept our kids away from the guns. We kept them outside of the house.
But let's talk about another form of gun safety and keeping the guns safe. How are those things not getting, like, rusty with all of, like, the humidity and stuff coming in? Because it's just literally a door. And
it was climate controlled in there.
They're on a rock wall. It's not climate controlled. I'm pretty sure the wall was, like, wet from a fucking waterfall or some shit in the background.
Yeah, I thought
It's
I
like,
remember
dude,
seeing
those
a
things are
little-
going to be, like, rusty as hell, and you're going to have to keep cleaning them constantly. No, it's not practical.
Next, a slimeball named Sully and his goon take Matrix to the airport. Sully is there to make sure Matrix gets on his 11-hour flight. And to make sure that he's prepped with snacks, some water, some entertainment for the flight, gone to the bathroom before. As the men board, Sully calls Bennett to let him know everything is on schedule. Once on the plane and before it takes off, Matrix silently breaks the goon's neck. While the plane taxis down the runway, Matrix makes his way to the bathroom and through an elaborate montage escapes the plane as it takes off. Back at the terminal, Sully creeps on a flight attendant named Cindy, in that typical 80s obnoxious way. Cindy blows him off, but a relentless Sully follows her to take her car and takes one more shot before his daily dose of rejection. Sully drives off and Matrix orders her to follow. They pursue the putz to a mall where he orders her to go flirt with him and coerce him to come over where Matrix is waiting. Cindy, who doesn't believe Matrix, tells a security guard that someone has kidnapped her, and suddenly he finds himself with security guards all around. After fighting off the first wave of guards, Sully makes his escape. Sully jumps in his car and Matrix and Cindy follow that piss yellow Porsche up in the hills before eventually dropping Sully off a cliff.
Getting on the plane, I think that's where he started to panic, because now he's like, "Oh shit, I'm on this plane." Well,
he was so smooth with his exit of the plane.
But you can kind of see the sort of the panic in him. Like, she's closing the door. He's like, "Oh fuck, now I have to come up with a plan. This plan now," to where he fucking just jacks that dude, breaks his neck. I mean, he says silently. He says silently, but he made a big ruckus. Lucky there was nobody sitting behind him.
First class all the way, man. Hey, those are nice henchmen. They at least set him up in first class, which was
right.
That's some extra stuff right there.
See, that president of Valverde, he had some money. The ex-president.
But so I'm a bigger guy. I say bigger. I'm a taller guy. So usually I pee before I get on the plane. I usually don't use the bathroom. I'll get up during a flight if I got to stretch the old legs. But I hate being that person like, hey, let me get up lunch. So I haven't done a lot of investigation to bathroom doors. JJ, have you ever found these hidden levers that lead to this extra back door through the bathroom or the elevator that he took? What happened here, guys?
No, it.
So that is a no shit thing. There are on big planes like that, there is a service elevator for the flight attendants to go down into this.
No way.
Yes, way.
Is that like international flights, I guess?
Yeah, bigger international planes like that. They have these. That was a DC-10 with these big fucking service elevators, stuff like that.
I knew they had them on Air Force One, thanks to the movie Air Force One, but I didn't know that they actually had those on big flights.
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess I feel like there should be some alarms before some of these doors open, because he makes his way into what seems like 4 different rooms, sneaking through, going through all this. And again, I said I tried to pretend to be a 14-year-old 80s kid, so I did not know the speed at which a airplane goes when it takes off. Do you guys happen to know?
It's probably going about 150, 180 miles an hour.
Yep.
At that point.
That was weird. That's actually the range I looked up. It said 150 to 180, so I'm hoping you looked it up, but 6.5 feet of useless knowledge right here.
I flew in a fucking big plane like that. That's
have
what
to
I
know all
do.
the details just to fly it. I hear
what I
half of it does it for you. Siri, take off. Siri, land.
Yeah, the plane's the real hero. I mean, Captain Solo didn't do anything. Anyway.
Oh man. But yeah, he's moving. So when he drops off of that wheel, he's initially going 100, let's say at 150 miles an hour when he drops.
I for him to tuck and roll. He waits till they lift off. What the fuck?
Man.
It lands in what looks like the Florida marshes.
Yeah, well,
Right.
okay, and let's look at the height at which originally he's looking down and he's like, I gotta jump, and then all of a sudden it's like a 2-foot drop. You just see him like, bloop, hop right back up like, yeah, let's go. I had a lot of problems with the different camera angles in this movie for different scenes. This one being one of them because it looked like they were like half a mile up. And he's just hopping right off and then flap.
Right when that CPR dummy hits the ground, it just no bounce at all.
No bounce at all, and then he's immediately up like, let's go.
I love it. He just walks into the airport, walks into the terminal, and happens to spot the fucking shortest dude in the entire terminal.
How could he not? He followed the Yellow Brick Road all the way to Oz,
Yeah.
He happens to spot who the guy is just dicking around in the terminal, hitting on stewardesses.
So Steve, you're talking about Sully, right?
Oh, Sully, yes.
So please enlighten me, enlighten JJ, enlighten all the fans, enlighten the Too Much Movie crew. Tell us why. Why would you be a fan of Sully?
Sully, I'm a fan of Sully just because he is a creepy fucker.
You just want to stick him in your pocket and walk around with him, don't you?
I wouldn't say I'm truly a fan of Sully, but that actor, I don't even know his name. He's played in some movies before that I've seen him in. That he's just been a creepy dude anyway, like The Warriors and shit. But he is just he was such a goofball. But I appreciated his him like, hey, I'm going to try this out. His persistence, yes. Like, hey, I'm going to try this out. Hey, ooh, you sound like you need a date. So he gets fucking shot down and then proceeds to follow her like a creepy fucker out of the place, like 10, 15 feet behind her, and then walks to her car again.
Awareness of her surroundings at all.
I think this is just the 80s. I bet this is probably just a regular thing where guys kind of follow you after you say no, and you don't have a cell phone, you don't have a whistle, so they're going to keep trying a few times. We've got this wild scene. He rips the seat out of the car, I guess so he doesn't hang out of the seat or just flexing the muscles again. But we're in the mall, and I get it. There's a handful of mall cops usually there running around. He literally gets a video game's worth of a swarm around him. I've never seen this many cops in fucking Blues Brothers. I'm trying to think of some cop movie, but like there are so many.
Dude, they were having like a Paul Blart Mall Cop convention or something at this place.
50% off gyro. Or what do they drive? Segway. 50% off Segways.
Even Lisa said there are not that many mall cops. And malts.
Well, and it's amazing, like, so the guy that Lisa goes and talks to is
Cindy.
Cindy goes and talks to. He's a big ass dude. Like, he is tall. He is maybe a little bit taller than Arnold is. Looking at it through the camera angles. And so he's like looking over, he gets on the radio, hey, I'm going to need some help with this guy. Calls that one. And, he's hitting on the high school girls like, want to go see me whoop somebody's ass?
Want to see me kick some ass?
Freaking ridiculous.
I was loving that too. I was like, that was awesome.
But that whole fight scene, I was just like, I was so dumbfounded because I couldn't, it was like, dude. There's 19 of y'all, one of him, and then for some reason all of y'all attack at once, and then you all come exploding out at once. Like, how the fuck does that happen? I don't care who you are, that does not happen. Well, I was gonna say then we get into the second car chase.
Mm-hmm. With that piss yellow Porsche.
And while they're swerving all the way around and going through and wrecking the car.
Dude, continuity in this movie was terrible.
And then they
up and down in these scenes. Yeah. What are you talking about? We get to the scene. Oh, go ahead, JJ.
Well, I was just going to talk about them hitting the pole. Like, you see the impact you see it, and you see both of their bodies like lunge forward, like she was going through the fucking windshield.
Because she doesn't have a damn seatbelt on.
Exactly. And then like it just like cuts to, he's like, "You okay?" And she's like, "Perfectly fine, not a scratch on her." She's like, "Yeah, I'm good."
I love that he tells her to, "You're okay."
Yeah.
You're okay. Yeah.
He's got that lame line where he drops Sully down the cliff, and then he flips the Porsche because they need a new vehicle, and the Porsche is fine. As soon as he flips the Porsche, that side that he got, nope, all the damage is gone.
Well, no, he jumps into that, but then later on he opens the door from that side. He opened the door from that side. It's like, what?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, these next few scenes are, they are something else. So when rifling through Sully's motel, Matrix in his own way informs us that he's hungry, and he's snacking on a Green Beret while interrupting the woman next door while she's snacking on her fella's backside. They take Cook's car on a shopping spree through a surplus store. Matrix is caught and thrown in the back of a SWAT van while Cindy loads the gear. After SWAT makes their move on Cindy, she shows her moves and fucks up the van, rescuing Matrix. They make their way to the warehouse and sees dozens of South Americans loading up tons of military equipment. Machine guns, rocket launchers, you name it.
Etc.
That was the cheesiest line ever. I eat Green Berets for breakfast. Like, what?
Well, because he's like, so that whole thing, because they had this big spat, Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yes.
And as John
Stallone
Rambo
was not in this movie.
But John Rambo was a Green Beret, and so that's why that guy says, "This Green Beret is going to kick your ass." And he's like, "Oh, I eat Green Beret." So basically, you're showing that he's better than a Green Beret, which is John Rambo, right?
I gotcha. JJ kind of talked to me about this movie being one of the big competitors with Rambo. This was a fight to get Schwarzenegger in another big movie to kind of help offset, or not offset, but push him as the champion movie star, the big beefcake, if you will.
Yeah,
the big action hero.
Because Rambo came out, and then they came out with Commando, and that's like really when it really started with Stallone and Schwarzenegger. Like they did not like each other at all.
Right.
I guess I didn't get the shoulder tap. He reminded me of my little brother. Just like instead of going and grabbing him off the bat or doing something, he taps him on the shoulder to, "Hey, I'm going to get you in the face." But like, no, guns get fired at that point. You don't have them subdued. Fucking take him down. You've got the element of surprise. Not for some catchphrase.
But that fight scene was a pretty good one. That was pretty good.
When we fell into the neighbor's hotel room. So that's God. Alyssa and I had this debate. She was clearly behind him. We either got she's eating the backside or she's pegging him. I couldn't figure out quite. I know JJ's clearly on the other side of the fence than me, but they were doing some freaky shit. They had the camera up and everything.
Yeah, they had the VHS camera rolling.
Yeah. I mean, he is there with somebody he doesn't want to be seen with. That's why they're in this shitty-ass motel.
But he's okay videotaping it.
Well, that's Tuesday. He only gets to see her once a week,
I mean, is she a call girl? Is she the secretary? What is she?
Or maybe he's the call girl, and that's her thing. She wants to be a little bit more dominant, and she's putting him in his place.
True.
So, I don't know. Either way, it was a fun add-in, I feel like, for the fight scene, because all of a sudden you got two naked folk just scared. Like, he went from hard to soft, just like that. Didn't even see it, but all the blood went to his brain, so he could figure out what the hell to do next.
But here's what kind of got me. They're in there fighting. A couple of shots go through that wall that they're at, but they don't stop. They just like, hey, fuck it, whatever. Is that gunfire? Fucking keep going.
Look at it's a motel. They probably hear gunfire. Attaboy, JJ. Have I not had a dog jump on the bed halfway? I'm going to do what I'm there for. I've got a mission, and I'm going to finish that mission.
But
Mom, don't listen to this.
But I mean, it is like it I'm at a loss for words just because I don't understand. Like you said, Steve, I don't care, Brian. I guess I'm different. If I hear some shit, I'm like, all right, what the fuck is going on out there?
3 gunshots, sure, but there was only 2.
I guess we grew up in different neighborhoods, but I mean,
not much happened at the warehouse. He just snuck around. Although that's where because she found the clue for the air with the type fuel, right? Type 4 fuel.
She mentions that, oh, it's for an amphibian plane, and they need 250 gallons, and that's just enough to get to that island. That's
And
not
back.
He's
that
sit,
far
you know,
away.
he's sitting there thinking, "Is like, I already fucking know this. I already mapped out the coordinates. I know where the fuck we're going."
Yeah, I'm using this compass, but I'm not going to actually use the compass. I'm just going to, like, just turn the compass instead
So
of,
JJ,
like, properly.
you've done some private pilot license stuff, right? Flying small plane stuff. Have you ever heard of Type 4 fuel?
No.
Never fucking heard of
That's where I was
Type
like,
4 fuel.
I was like, I don't really think it matters if it's like a prop plane. They pretty much use the same type of fuel. It's when
I
you
totally
move
bought it.
into it's when you move into the jet engines that you need a little bit different type of fuel.
Yeah, where you got like Jet A or Jet A or Jet B, but then other than that, you're pretty much using avgas.
Yeah,
So,
avgas.
When I go to the
Which
gas
is basically
station,
straight
there are 3
kerosene.
choices. I would imagine a plane would have 4. I bought it. But y'all are blowing
But
my
then
mind here.
Type 4 is amphibian. So there's a
Yeah.
special fuel if you're flying over water.
Well, yeah, you've got mammal, you've got bird, you've got reptile, and then amphibian.
It's like why is there special amphibian fuel? It's like that made no sense to me. It's like, okay.
It just makes me feel dumber now that you guys say all this. But you know what he did look out? Thank God there was a construction site right next to that surplus place, because this man has done so many amazing feats. Why can he not shoulder the back door into the surplus store? Why are we taking the bulldozer through the front, man? Shove Cindy through a ventilation shaft. I don't care. Like, we've seen plenty of ventilation movies here. on
Yeah.
Too Much Movie Night. Let's.
I mean, yeah, it's absolutely like he's obviously been to this store several times.
Because he knows where that back room is.
Yeah, he knows the back room is there. He
Where
knows
do
that
all
there's a
surplus stores
switch.
have that?
I mean, maybe I've been to a couple surplus stores just because it was like, like, wonder what I can find in there. Like, I wasn't in the military. I want to know what an MRE tastes like. I'm going to go to the surplus store. Bought an MRE, ate it. It was fucking terrible. Moved on with my life.
It's because you didn't get the jalapeno.
gotta get
cheese
the jalapeno
spread.
cheese
That's
spread.
the best
That's
cheese
right.
spread in the MRE box. We went through hurricanes. I know my MREs, man.
That's right.
See, the chili mac was my favorite. But anyway.
Ooh. Burn on,
Well,
man.
we haven't even discussed that yet. But why is she following him now? Like, I understand she says it several times of like, oh, I want to make sure you get your daughter back. Like, but who in their right mind is like, I'm gonna follow this giant moose around?
Well, she had the chance. Yeah, she had the chance to get away at the mall when she already dimed him out. But then, after seeing him beat up all the security guards and pick up a phone booth and almost drop Sully, then she decides, oh, wait, I'm going to go with him now. because now all of a sudden he's not so scary.
Well, let me ask the classic Steve question here. How did she not know that he was the bad guy? Yeah, Sully was a little douchey, but maybe he was still on the good side.
It's a great point. You'll flip the script on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sully was a little douchey, but yeah, maybe he was on the good side. I don't know, man.
I mean,
She
he's
just-
basically just like, my daughter was kidnapped. Here's a picture. And she's like, oh, you poor thing.
No alarm goes off. This store has freaking automatic weapons. They have rocket launchers. They have all this stuff, but no fucking alarm that starts ringing when a bulldozer gets driven through it. What?
I mean,
I think it's
okay, this is in California.
well, hell, you can't buy a super soaker in California, much less a fucking pistol. Like, what the hell?
Nowadays, I don't know about back then, but
That's true.
I mean, yeah, it was amazing to me that he's just like, you know what? Find the switch. Where's the switch? There's the switch. Okay, here's a law. Here's grenades. Here's, if you notice the box of shotgun shells that he picks up, those were actually unloaded. They were just empties with primers in the bottom.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, the SWAT van and everything like that shows up. Like, that's a good 20 minutes to get everybody over there.
Well, and then we've got Cindy too, who clearly must be a ancestor of Mary Poppins, because how she fit all of those guns in that bag, I have no fucking clue. It had to have been an endless bag. So they're walking with duffel bags with guns and a rock. Like, fucking bullshit. Shut up. No way.
Maybe
No way.
maybe she was a student of Hogwarts. And could
Maybe.
use
Little magic bags.
Okay, all right.
But man,
Steve,
it
you
was.
don't know Hogwarts. Don't jump in.
It was. I know it's some
Can't
kind of
agree with
magic
that.
shit, right?
Cindy and Matrix find out the coordinates of this compound off the coast of Santa Barbara. They make their way to the plane where they're met by armed men firing at them. Matrix and Jenny make their escape in the plane, but their flight path takes them over a missile testing range. An intercept officer orders them to land, but Cindy flies close to the ground to evade their radar. Finally, the two make it to the island and land the seaplane in the waters outside of it. Matrix gets out and decides that the only way he can make it to the island is to change into a Speedo, of course, and get himself there in a boat. Meanwhile, the plane that Matrix was supposed to take to Valverde lands, and Bennett and Arias find out that he is not on board. Matrix hits the shores of the island with a full arsenal of weapons.
So, okay, I have a problem with this. Who are the fucking dudes that are patrolling the marina in this fucking in a jeep in an open military jeep with automatic weapons
In California.
in California? Right?
And
They're
they-
just fucking patrolling some various marina.
That was too
Yeah.
much. I feel like we could have just
It's
sent
a
them off in the
public
boat.
marina. And these guys are driving around. They're like, "Hey, your goal is to watch that one plane." But you just go ahead and drive around and make sure the perimeter is secure. Damn it.
Yeah, I had to roll my eyes a little too much in that one.
Oh, it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, why?
But I mean, okay, so she's talked to us before, like, "Oh, I'm taking flying lessons, so I know how to fly a plane." Okay. And then she hops in and she's like, "I've never flown anything like this. I've only flown a Cessna." So now
my
you're dealing with a
LED.
twin engine seaplane, completely different than a fucking single engine Cessna.
So does that mean a single engine you can't punch the dashboard to turn it on? It's only a dual?
Only seaplanes. That's what you do. That you hit the
Well, okay,
seaplanes.
no, that's I was gonna talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about it when I was watching the movie. I was like, I need to bring this up.
Punching the dashboard.
It's one thing for Schwarzenegger to act like he's Rambo. Okay, I can understand that. But to act like the Fonz, you got some fucking nerve, Jack. Come on now. I don't see him water skiing over a shark.
He has not shown these skills until now. He is clearly...
Yeah, and now he's just gonna start a plane with a fucking hit of the... No, go get fucked.
And then he punches that one lever to lift because she can't figure out how to punch it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
he's
just fucking
just
like
like-
slowly revving, like,
She's like,
we're not
"Proper
gonna make
takeoff."
it.
The proper takeoff speed in a Cessna is 80 knots, so we're just gonna slowly get there. And he's like, we're gonna hit the boat, and then like just punches the son of a bitch, and they're magically up.
Seconds before she says, okay, I think we're good. And then she says, oh, we're not going to make it.
They gotta fucking be flying like right above the water, like right above the water. But then, I don't know if the marine radar is still gonna fucking find. I don't know.
But I mean, as a Coast Guard, you see this plane and you're like, hey, you are in a restricted area. You need to change course now or we will shoot you down. And they're like, no, get General whatever on the phone. And they're like, no, that doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, he disappeared off the radar. Cool.
Not
I'm going to go take a leak. Anybody need a cup of coffee or something while I'm out? Like, just forget about that whole issue. We're going to move on.
And Steve, is that what Coast Guards look like? I thought they was look more like Navy uniforms.
It seemed like they were on the ship though with just some like light blue shirts or something like that.
Okay.
That's what it seemed like to me, which they probably would have, but I don't know. But not nowadays. Maybe back then, but yeah, not nowadays.
Okay. Yeah, just something I picked up. Seen a lot of seamen in my day. I've seen tons of Navy guys.
Yeah.
Not too many coasties.
Just a lot of semen. A lot of semen.
Speaking of semen, this Speedo, I was gushing looking at this dude's back. They specifically did this scene just to like flex him over Stallone. But this dude's back, I could have swore they did a double because I did not think that was Arnold. Oh my god, everything.
I know Arnold's already on the steroids. But did they have that built into the budget as well? Like, let's bulk him up more.
It's probably part of his contract, I'm sure. Because, like, you could see the fibers of the muscle, like, everything in his back. Like, blind person could have read the braille in the back of that thing. It was incredible. A little jealous.
So, Lisa, this is Lisa's comment. Right at that scene, she's like, does he have children of his own? I'm like... I don't know. She's like, I just can't imagine with all the steroids he's taking that he was. Like, oh shit.
Alyssa goes, wow, he looks like Nathan. I was like, yeah, I know. Well, just like young Arnold walking around with his shirtless, like chest out and everything.
Well, I mean, it obviously didn't take an effect on him too much because he does have a daughter that I know of.
Oh.
And he has another... Well, it's married to Chris Pratt.
I thought Anna Faris was married to Chris Pratt.
They got divorced.
Oh.
And now he's married to Schwarzenegger's daughter. And then that whole thing years ago about him sleeping with the maid, and they now have like an illegitimate child as well. But let's go back to before they land at the island.
Yes.
While they're talking, you look out the window, and it's like they are at sea level. Like, they are flying so low right now that just a little ripple could touch the plane and probably knock it. But then it shows them coming to land, and they're way the fuck up there. That's my other problem with this continuity that they have that's so great. And you get the great, like... 80s, 70s, and 80s like car scenes where it's like the first shot is always like super shaky outside the windows, and then it like settles down and they like come in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, this is so fucking horseshit. Either way, sorry, I just had to get that off my chest.
Fucking
so
terrible.
One of the cooler fight scenes I think is when our boy's finally dropped his duffel bags. He has no weapons, and we're locked up in the shed. But what are we going to do? We're going to have the pickaxe. We're going to grab saw blades, and it was a pretty cool scene. Very dramatic.
Did you notice the troops outside of the building though? Outside of the shed?
The were some?
Mm-hmm. They were all I think they all tried to be Bee Gees or extras for the Bee Gees. They were all white guys with fake mustaches that were hired in to be Hispanic
spray tans,
blending in with the other South American.
No, some of them didn't even. I'm pretty sure one guy had blonde hair, but he had like a really long, thick, like fake black mustache, and I was like
Big Daddy from Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a California surfer. The waves took him out a little too far. He landed on the island. He said, "Fuck it."
Hey, man.
I literally think that they were just driving by. They're like, "Hey guys, do y'all want to make some weed money?" And these guys were like, "Yeah,
bro."
They're like, "We want you to be extras in a movie." Be like, "What do we do?" Be like, "You're gonna catch a saw blade to the face, but it's okay."
Dude, freaking scalped him. That first dude that took the blade, like, it took a chunk out of there.
Man, I don't know who can fucking throw a saw blade like that hard, to fucking spin it that fast to do that. That was fucking, that's special. That's somebody special.
After I saw him break though.
Imagine you watch this movie. You're Chris Pratt. You watch this movie. And then you fall in love with Schwarzenegger's daughter. And he's like, "Hey, you want to go play Frisbee in the yard?" And you're like, "No, I do not at all."
They're watching this movie before Thanksgiving dinner. Casual Frisbee throw after.
Yeah. No. Hell no. Count me out. I'm done.
It's interesting. Is this where we see one of the first, stocking up montages of that? Because I remember kids seeing tons of movies where the good guys are loading up, getting all their shit, and like that's the scene you get pumped. Usually the music's kicking in right there. You're ready to go to battle. But that's interesting, Steve. I'd like to find that out.
Speaking of which, the music. I'm glad you brought the music, Brian, because did you notice the steel drums throughout the?
Yes, Steve. I noticed the steel drum.
But why did you should have got the steel drums from that? It was like so throughout. Oh my
But
god!
no,
having
it was
fun
it
with
was
the
a
true
it was
romance
a weird
drums.
mixture of the steel drums, and then there was like the random like Chinese like I don't even know what instrument
the
or thing it
Dragon
is, but it's like
soundtrack
like shit going on with the steel drums. It's like okay, weave, and then there was the terrible jazz that was mixed through too. Like it
saw
just
what the
reminded me of freaking Mel Gibson.
Passion of the Christ.
No. What? No.
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon music.
No shit.
There's the random like terrible jazz music in the intermissions, not intermissions, but like in between scenes. It's like we're driving down the road in this blue Cadillac. Terrible jazz music. Go.
They begin to fire on Matrix with machine guns, tanks, and grenades. You name it, they have it on this island. Matrix begins mowing them down one after one, and when that doesn't work, he sets up a series of huge explosions. Cut scene to Jenny. She uses a doorknob to pry her way through the wood covering a window in the room where the villains were holding her captive. She runs across the compound and down into a steam-filled basement where she will hide until all the chaos blows over. Unfortunately, Bennett is onto her. Eventually, Matrix finds himself face-to-face with Arias, while the two have one hell of a firefight. After Matrix blasts Arias, Scarface style, his parental instincts kick in. And he hears Jenny call out to him from that basement, across the compound, in another building, through all the gunfire. Bennett finds and grabs Jenny before Matrix can. The two stare each other down like a pair of feral cats. It's our big finale, folks, and Matrix talks Bennett into a mano-a-mano challenge. Matrix ends this, let's say, unique climactic fight by ripping a steam pipe off the wall and launching it at Bennett, impaling him into the steam vent before he dies. That just felt appropriate. As Matrix and Jenny exit the compound, they arrive back on the beach where General Kirby lands with reinforcements. Matrix and Jenny walk out to Cindy's seaplane, and the three fly off into the sunset.
The feral cats was not me.
The feral cats is fucking hilarious.
That's fucking crazy.
But let's hit the point now. He's out of the shed. He's running over to the main building so he can deal Scarface style to ex Presidente. And he has that saw that doesn't run out of ammo.
It's actually an M60, not a saw.
Fuck me, I'm sorry. M60 that does not run out of ammo. It is just the like when he's entering into the battle with all the guys, there is that much of the belt left, about maybe a foot. And then he shoots 16 guys. And then there's 2 foot. And then he shoots 20 more guys. And then there's 1 foot. That's fitting. And then he shoots another 10 guys, and then there's 3 foot. It is a constant, like, Call of Duty weapon. Now, this is my stat that I was talking about. Brian, you said you don't see anybody reload. In this movie, how many people do you actually see aim down the sights?
Everyone's hip firing. I noticed that too.
3 people aim down the sights of their gun.
I'm convinced
the
he
whole
hires his
time.
hitmen from South America School of the Blind, because these guys don't. He's literally standing in the open for 80% of his fighting montages.
Yes.
And he doesn't get hit. So let me ask you guys this. He doesn't get hit once. Where do you guys see your action stars? Do you like your action stars to like take a bunch of bullets and see him fight through that? Or do you want him to see him Superman style where shit's essentially bouncing off? Like I kind of like seeing a guy take a few hits.
He's like Bullet Tooth Tony. He's the bullet. He's the bullet dodger. He dodges bullets.
Yeah, he dodges bullets, Tony. But like, It is fucking insane. Like I like to see. I can't say that I love the John Wick movies. That's great action. I'm a John McClane fan to the core. If you want to know what action movie gets me going, Die Hard 100%. And you see a lot of weakness in that movie, which you don't see in Commando.
See, but you're right, but I think then it's the same thing in this type of I think that you can see how the action heroes progress over time, right? So these guys are Rambo, fucking Commando, Arnold. These guys are I don't know. They're like ghosts. They're like the bullets just fucking go right through them, right? They don't they don't penetrate flesh, and so but you see the progress of action heroes later on. John McClane, he's getting shot. He's fucking running barefooted. He's bleeding and shit like that. Later now, I love what you mentioned. John Wick. John Wick is getting fucking. I love John Wick movies, and he's getting fucked up the whole time, and he has a lot to recover, and he's just, he's just so hurt throughout this, and so I think that you see the progress of action heroes a little bit to where these guys, completely fucking, like say, bulletproof, but I think the fans and the movie people were like, okay, let's try to make this a little bit more fucking realistic to some extent, to still keep the person alive, but they're not taking fucking headshots and live, but this is, I appreciated it back then, but I really appreciate it for what it is now, like for action guys, like the John Wick movies now.
So anyway, he busts in, he gets into that wicked shootout with El Presidente.
Blast him.
Well, like 4 times with the shotgun.
Shoots over the railing there.
I do that too, JJ. I thought we were all applauding. Oh, I thought we were just applauding the fucking shoot.
No, there's a gnat. We now have a basil plant in the house, and now we have gnats. Anyway.
So how did y'all like the Bennett fight?
Okay, I didn't like Bennett at all. I thought that was... There's only one person here that can take on John, and it's me.
Was
in
he
my
Australian?
Chainmail. He was Australian.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to make a joke there, Steve.
Whether his daughter's dead or alive, I can take it. Like, shut the fuck up. You can barely get off the couch, dude.
So when fucking Ginny like whittles out that little hole and squeezes out, and they're coming in to kill her or grab her or whatever, and he fucking like fuck, and then he like bills down and sees her, and like she just got it. I love like the timing was perfect that she just got away, and he sees her like right, and then he just like boom and busts through that fucking like thin ass wood.
At this point, I think Bennett might be tougher than Matrix, just because I haven't seen Matrix do that shit yet.
There's a 2x4 in the middle, and then it looks like there's maybe just veneer plywood. And he like busts through it, and you're like, it took her 4 hours to get out of there.
Well, here's the thing, and Lisa pointed this out too. At the 9-hour point is when she finally got up to do something. It's like, wait, it took her fucking 9 hours to like...
It's just her confidence in her dad. Dad will be here in no time. I'm going to whittle my thumbs.
See, I was the opposite. I was like, this girl needs to spend less time with her dad and more time in school learning logical thinking.
But we see them get down there, and he like talks Bennett out of just shooting him. So let's fight with knives. And then he pushes him into the gets him electrocuted, and he jumps right off that, no problem. We've seen Jurassic Park here, folks. We know.
He rips the door off the boiler. Now, I will say this. Bennett gets the boiler door. There's a big-ass hot burning fire. He rips it off. He's wearing fingerless gloves. His hands are protected. He may not feel the heat from that door as much.
Was it Bennett that ripped that takes the door off? I thought it was Arnold that took the door off.
Now I'm pretty sure Bennett took the door off, and then he hits John with it. John gets back up, and that's when Bennett pins him up against the, like, trying to push his head into the flames.
Hold on, I gotta say, so his last little he pushes Bennett up at this thing and then throws the pipe at him. He tears the pipe off, throws it at him, and just I was sitting there because I knew what he was gonna say. I was like, "Let off some steam, Bennett," and then he says it. And Alyssa was just like, "Oh my fucking god!"
Yeah, everyone saw that coming.
So now he walks out there, and he's got Jenny, and they go to the seaplane with Cindy, and fucking take off. And I'm like, wait, hold on.
No. What does Cindy do before they get on the seaplane?
Oh, she hugs her like she's known her whole life.
He kisses her on the fucking mouth.
No, she doesn't. Oh my god!
Some weird fucking shit going on.
She doesn't
here.
kiss her on the mouth, does
Never
she?
met this lady, but it's like, hey, hug, kiss.
I thought she kissed her on the forehead, not the mouth. Does she really? Oh my god!
I don't know. It could be on the forehead, but I just noticed that there was a kiss. If I'm that little girl who just got fucking kidnapped, you know what I'm doing? Like, who the fuck are you? And why are you touching me in the first place?
No, fuck. Jenny runs up and hugs her like she's a long lost friend.
Yeah.
And they get on the plane and fucking like fly off. So I'm thinking, okay, now you can fucking break into a goddamn surplus store, steal fucking automatic weapons, steal cars, kill dudes in fucking hotel rooms, go to this island, steal an airplane, right? So steal an airplane, go to this island, fucking kill everybody on this island, and then just fly off into the fucking sunset like nothing fucking is wrong.
Right, heroes welcome, and you've killed how many people? You're going to jail, buddy.
102.
He's going to jail.
This is America's shitty version of a License to Kill.
It's like,
And they won't even use an American for it. That's how shitty it is. It's like, yeah, we can always just, kick him out of the country if it gets too bad.
Right? No big deal.
but as long as you're killing South American
As long as we're still on the war on
ex-president.
drugs here, it's okay. Because this is like Reagan's presidency, right?
I mean,
85?
He's killed guys who are just protecting a marina. He's fucking killed,
Pretty sure he kills one of the cops in the mall, too. Ridiculous.
And the fact, hey, this girl for doing her first amphibious landing, like 3 hours earlier,
Yes.
does another perfect, bring in behind the helicopter.
Oh,
lands that
dude,
sumbitch.
she's form flying with fucking helicopters. Form flying with helicopters and then landing that shit perfectly in
For
there.
not even having her, private license, this girl is an amazing pilot.
Brilliant.
She sat out there during the whole battle. What do you think she was doing? She was reading the instruction manual.
No. And she was waiting for, you'll know, because all hell will break loose.
So cheesy. Well, speaking of
What's the
cheesy,
sign?
cheesy is the way we like our pizzas here at Too Much Movie Night. Here we decide the quality of our pizza or our movie nights on a box of pizza, slice pizzas. A 8-slice movie is going to be a great movie. It's going to be able to kill as many people as you want, rob what you will, and you're going home scot-free. And a 0-slice movie is going to be, it's going to be taking a saw blade to the head and being scalped off, because that's pretty shitty. It's as bad as they get here.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, this was your movie. Who do we have delivering our first slice score today?
JJ's going to go first.
I would love to go first.
I went ahead, and by the way, in the slice tracker, I went ahead and put your guys, I pre-filled in your slices, so.
I mean, you're talking about the mid-'80s fight back against Rambo. It's a great action movie. There's blood, there's gore, was it corny? Yes. Were Arnold Schwarzenegger's lines kept to a minimum? Yes. Should they have been? Yes. I think they did a great job with that. But overall, this movie was just 100% a train wreck. You see shit popping off all the time. It doesn't continue. It doesn't flow that well. Nothing really goes that great. as a man, hell yeah, explosions, blood, death, everything is happening all the time. This is so much action. I fucking love it. As a shitty movie critic, this is fucking terrible. Would I watch this movie again? Yeah, probably. Will I watch this movie again? Probably not, because I don't have cable and it just doesn't randomly pop on. And I'm not going to scroll past and see Commando and go, yeah, I'll watch it. No. Probably not going to watch it. Is it a movie night movie? Maybe if I'm by myself, my fiance would tell me to get fucked if I ever try to make her watch this movie. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and give it 1.5 slices.
Ooh, what the fuck?
Ooh,
wow.
hit it hard with the 1.5.
Oh,
1.5.
Smacked it. All right, JJ, we're being extra critical today. I like it.
Jesus.
Well, Steve, I guess that means you wanna finish us off.
Yes, I will finish this off.
Cool.
You can finish me off anytime, Steve.
It's not on camera.
Yeah, well, no, not a camera.
OnlyFans. Too Much Movie Night OnlyFans is where you can find that stuff, folks.
Oh. Didn't know we were doing that. I thought it was just for funsies. But okay, let's make money any way we can.
Might as well
I thought that
record
was fuckedupfeet.com.
DunkingMyTitsHighs.com.
So I'm very mixed on this movie. I went into it very critical. After, like I said, there was a point in the movie that I kind of realized, all right, I need to look at this through the eyes of not only a 14-year-old, but an 80s 14-year-old. Which is weird. The demographic was R, so that means it was over 17. And yet, if you're over 17 and loving this movie, falling in love with it for the first time, we might have some child. Like, come on, man. This was way too cheesy to be like an adult. I don't know. I just didn't buy how adults are rushing to the movie to go see this. I missed out on the testosterone steroid era of the 80s, so maybe that's where I'm missing. But I had a decent time with this movie. I loved the pacing of it. That really kept me locked in. It kept me paying attention. Like I said, Arnold didn't do a whole much as far as deep acting with multiple lines, but he did a great job with what he had. I loved the Arnold porn, the wet bicep muscles, the back, all that. It's great to see what we're doing here, fighting against Rambo. But we had continuity errors. We had issues with just ridiculously, like, over-the-top stuff. And sometimes it's hard to keep me locked in because I'm not a guy that just loves a movie just because of the action. I'm hit or miss here on the big manly stuff, I guess. But I had to kind of review some of my previous scores to make sure this falls where I think it should. But I don't think this is an average movie. I think it's just below that. I'll probably watch it again just to get my wife to watch it, just because we love laughing at movies. But this isn't going to be a movie I find myself recalling to, but I will add, I'm sure nostalgia plays into that. So with that, I'm going to go just under a average movie, and I'm going to give it 3 slices. I think it's not the worst movie we've done. It's definitely entertaining for what it is, but this is not going to be a go-to for me.
All right.
Steve,
Man.
give me that score.
Whew, so I'm up, Ryan. Okay. So this movie, man, I have always really enjoyed this movie. This movie is one of those sort of, okay, I'm going to turn off my brain kind of movies and watch it.
You have to watch this movie.
See the action of it. Like I say, I think the vividness of the characters with, again, Sully and Cook and Bennett and Matrix, just how like robust those characters are. Even Cindy, with, I actually dug Radon Chong in this movie, kind of find her with a little bit of her humor. I like where they were poking fun at a lot of different things. I found it, although a very simple plot, still very, kind of fun with poking fun about Rambo, poking fun of, different stuff along the way. So still kind of smart with some things. That being said, again, this is a fun movie. This is a good movie night movie. This is a movie that, again, I watched with my spouse, which did she enjoy it? Maybe. I wouldn't say it's her favorite movie, but she sat and watched the whole thing with me and was like into it still. So yeah, as a movie night movie, yes, it is a movie night movie. Is it a great movie night movie? Maybe not, but it is still up there. And so with that, it definitely gets it's a 5 for me as a movie night movie.
This is the widest spread we've ever had.
Well, everybody at home, you're sitting there
Sorry,
thinking,
not
well,
sorry.
guys, I've sat here for the whole thing. I want to know where this falls on all your movies. Well, Commando at 3.17 is going to be better than Starfighter, but not quite as good as Spies Like Us and The Great Outdoors. And me giving it a 3, I like where it landed. I think it's just under that cusp of those decent 80s movies, but like JJ said, this isn't going to be one we're gonna pop in a DVD player regularly.
Predator the Schwarzenegger, but
everybody, we appreciate you listening. Thanks for hopping on along with us for this Commando movie night movie. Thanks for listening. Give us a follow, subscribe, tell your friends. We're all over the place.
Whoop, whoop. Hey, appreciate it. Love you guys.
See you next week, folks.
That's a great finish. That's a fucking great finish right there.